Hey guys, Miss Clark here. I am going to read you a story and it's called Let's Visit the Moon by Patricia Newman. Let's take a guess, or let's take a look and see. First, looking at this picture right here, do you think that this is going to be a fiction book? Remember, fiction means that it's fake. That means it's not giving us true information. Or do you think it's nonfiction? Nonfiction means that it is giving us real facts. So do you think it's fiction or nonfiction? It might be a little bit hard to tell on your end, but this is an actual picture somebody took with a camera. So we know that's a good clue to tell us that this is going to be a non-fiction story. So it's going to give us true facts about, what do you think? The moon. Okay, let's get started. This is a little bit of a longer story, so I'm going to make 2 different videos for you. Okay, let's get started. Look up at the night sky. Do you see the moon? Maybe it glows like a silver ball. Maybe it's a thin strip of light. Sometimes you can see the moon during the day. So here's some real pictures of the moon throughout the day. Here's one where you can see it in the middle of the day. Have you ever seen the moon like that? Or sometimes at night it looks like a half of a moon or just a little bit. Say this looks like a thumbnail, like the end of a fingernail. What is the moon made of? Why does it change shape? How does it move through space? Let's discover the moon's secrets together. Take a minute and think about, what is the moon made of? Why does it change shape? Do you know? Do you think you know? Do you have a guess? I've always heard that the moon was made of cheese. Cheese. I don't think that's true, but let's see. I don't think it's made of cheese. Hey, the moon is different from the sun. It is not as bright. The sun is a star. The moon is not a star. The moon is more like Earth than the sun. Gray soil covers the moon. It has gray rocks and bits of glass, too. We say the moon shines, but it does not make its own light. The moon uses the sun's light. So this is an actual picture. If you can tell, that is a astronaut right there, and they're actually on the moon. So the moon looks very different than the Earth, right? On the Earth we have grass and flowers and plants and trees, but look at the moon. It's not just a black and white picture. This is really what it looks like. Interesting. Long ago, American Indians told time with the moon. They talked about 2 moons ago, not 2 months ago. They also believed the moon and the sun were gods. Some people believe that a wolf sung the moon into existence. Others said the moon was made of fire. Still, others had the silly idea that it was a ball of cream cheese. Well, it said that was a silly idea, so I guess the moon isn't really made of cheese, even though that would be funny. Do you see dark spots on the moon? Some people thought the spots made a face. They called the spots the man in the moon. Look at the moon when it is full. Do you see how the spots look like a face? So here's the moon right here. This is a picture that they drew on. This is an actual picture of the moon. But they kind of circled the dark spots that would make it look like a face. Do you see it? You might have to turn your head sideways a little bit. So here's a challenge. The next full moon, I looked it up, is going to be April 7th. That is a Tuesday of spring break. So your job is to go outside when it's dark, look up at the moon on April 7th, and see if you can spot the man in the moon. See if you can see him. Over 400 years ago, a scientist named Galileo looked at the moon through a telescope. The telescope made the moon look closer. It helped him see objects that people never saw before. Scientists discovered new ideas about the moon. So look at this. This thing right here was the telescope that scientist Galileo used. If you have ever looked out of a telescope, or if you have a telescope at your house, it probably does not look like this. This was a very early telescope, so it made things seem closer, but not as close as we can see today. Galileo thought the moon looked a great deal like Earth, but they both have tall mountains, and they both have deep valleys. He also saw big, flat spots. He thought the spots were oceans. Isn't that a pretty picture? Many years later, stronger telescopes were built. Scientists could see more. They found that Galileo's oceans were dry. The dry oceans were really deep holes or craters. Long ago, flying rocks through space hit the moon and made these craters. Flying space rocks are called meteors. They are called meteorites when they hit Earth. They come in all sizes and shapes. They travel very fast. They often hit the moon because the moon has no air to stop them or slow them down. Only a few meteorites have ever hit Earth. They almost always burn up in our air before landing. So, don't be worried about meteorites hitting the Earth, because it says that when they hit the moon because there's no air to stop them. There's air on Earth, we know, because that's the reason we're able to live on Earth, so that we can breathe. And that's why people do not live on the moon, because there's no air to breathe. But the air around Earth burns up those meteorites and slows them down, so it doesn't hit Earth. So don't be worried. Alright, that's all for video 1. I will link the second video for you to watch in just a little bit.